Hi there, welcome to your Vamuz camper. Going to run you through just the basics to get you started. We'll show you how everything works in the camper, talk to you a little bit about the check-in process, and cover everything you need to know to head away on your trip and have as much fun as possible. So first thing to remember when picking up the camper, make sure you bring your driver's license if you have an Australian driver's license, and if not, if you're traveling with an international driver's license, make sure you bring your passport as well. We'll need to physically cite both those things to let you take away the camper that day. The van's going to come with a full tank of diesel. To get access to the diesel so you can fill it up before you return, just open the passenger door, and then you've got the cap there as well. Fire extinguisher is found under the passenger seat. There's a little hook here. You can get access to your fire extinguisher. That one there. We also keep the step to get into the van under this seat. And we've got these clothes hangers as well that you can use for your stay. Just hang them up on the rail inside. We've got a fire blanket just in the electrics cupboard, so another option there as well. So fire blanket, fire extinguisher. You've also got smoke alarm fitted out in the van, carbon monoxide detector, and there's a jack for changing the tyres under the driver's side as well, so I'll show you where that is. So for your driving tips, just always remember the van is 2.8 meters high. That's without anything tied onto the roof rack, so make sure you add the height of surfboards and that kind of stuff. Drives like a normal sedan, really easy to drive. The main thing hirers ask us about is how to switch off the lane departure warning. So it's that button there to turn it off, and the same button to turn it back on. You've got the adaptive cruise control, which works as any cruise control works. So press the cruise set and then set your speed, and then you've got the radar adaptive distance off the car in front. So all those little dials are found there. You've got your lights are set to auto. It's a good idea to keep them set to auto, that way you won't flatten the battery when you pull up to a campsite by leaving your lights on. The windscreen wipers on the right hand side, indicators on the left hand side. You've also got the adjustable mirrors for your wing mirrors there as well. And then you've got the Apple CarPlay and Android CarPlay. Everything else is working just through the touchscreen function there. If you get a flat tire on your trip, just remember you've always got the Camplify roadside assist. Best to call those guys. Trying to jack up the back of the van, because there's quite a bit of weight and it can be a little bit tricky. If you want to have a go at it, that's fine. The jack's under here, under the seat, and to get access to your spare tire, it's out the back. So under the seat, there's an adapter that allows you to wind down the spare tire. The spare tire sits under the van. So starting from the front and working our way back, up here you've got some storage where we keep fresh towels. You've got fly screens in this bag for both the side and the rear door. They just Velcro across the top here. Got some block out shades. So this one here has got a magnetic strip on it. So it sticks on the back window for a bit of privacy and protection from the sun. There's two more of them in there for the side windows as well. And then you've got the curtains for blocking out the sun from the cabin. USB charging ports in there. This rail here is for your awning, so I'll show you how to use the awning a little bit later on. Down low we've got a lever that you can use with your foot just to lower down the front seat. So a bit of pressure there, push forward. This is a great space for storing suitcases and luggage. You can also hang those clothes hangers from here as well. We've got an extra table for outside. This board is for making up your bottom bunk. A step ladder. And then this is part of the awning as well, which I'll show you how to use. In this cupboard here, we've got a bin. There's a dish drying rack and a little absorbing towel there, some chopping boards in your bin. We've got food storage or any other storage you want to use up top here as well. A little bit of tea and sugar. There's also, you'll see USB ports and power points all over the vans. Up here, just that latch there to keep that cupboard open. You've got storage containers, mixing bowls, toaster, pots and pans on this side. And then if you come up in here, I'll show you this one. So similar setup, jars for drinking, bowls, cups, plates, we call them non-breaking wine glasses, and coffee cups up there as well. You'll see these little LED lights up here, so the switch for that is found here. Just works like a normal house switch. A latch there for while you're driving for the cutlery drawer. So in here we've got everything you need: knives, forks, spoons, sharp knives for chopping up veggies, bottle opener, corkscrew, can opener, everything you need's available in there. Down this way we've got the tea towel. It's also where we hide the toilet. So to use the toilet, just remember, if you're going to use the toilet on your trip, it needs to come back emptied. Really straightforward to use. Pop your top, open it up while you're using it. You've got an extra little seat there. There's liquid for the toilet. When we send the vans away, we don't put the liquid in it, so it'll be up to you to put some of the tank solution in the bottom, and then you'll also need a little bit of flushing solution in there as well. So both of them are available down the bottom there, and we'll show you how to use them when you pick the van up. Okay, in these drawers here, salt, pepper, spare lighter. We've got some stubby coolers, spare tea towels and extra cleaning equipment down there like bin bags and sponges, that type of stuff. We keep all the gases for cooking in this one, and your jet boil. I'll just leave that one out, show you how to use that in a bit. And then in the bottom, this is where we keep charging cables for the lights. So there's a light there, there's another one up the top, so they'll charge both those lights. Then there's a clothesline in there as well. Fridge can open from both ways, so that side or that side. If you've got a really full fridge, just make sure each time you close it that you just give the bottom a little nudge just to make sure it's closed properly. That way none of the cold air will leak out. And then in this cupboard here, we've got your electrics. You shouldn't need anything in that cupboard, but I can talk you through how to do a reset the day you pick up as well. The bed will come made up the day you pick up the van. While you're sleeping, you want to take down these elastics. They're there just for storage. So you just simply pop them off either side, and then you get access to your fan. So there's one on the top bunk, there's another one on the bottom bunk as well. To use that fan, very straightforward. It's just got 3 different settings on there. So you've got the extra foam in there just to extend out the length of your bed. We'll send you away with enough blankets and pillows for as many people are traveling on the trip. And as you're raising the bed, the only thing you want to leave on the bed is a blanket thickness. So take the pillows down and don't store them while you're raising the bed back up. And while we're driving, we always say bed goes up and the table, which I'll show you in a sec, that goes in the down position. So bed up, table down for driving, and 1 blanket thickness on the top. So the switch for the bed is located under here. While we're down here, we've got your hot water system That will give you hot water while you're plugged into shore power. You've got an option for a 12 volt hot water system as well. This one here will drain your battery in about 6 hours from full to empty. So I recommend only using the shore power. If you really need hot water, you're desperate for it and you're not plugged in, you can turn this one on for about 20 minutes and that'll heat your hot water back up as well. But remember, if you leave it on, you can flatten the battery, so just be careful of that one. This one stays on the whole time, and then this is your bed lift system for lifting the bed back up. Okay, so you got the option to sleep on your top bed or your bottom bunk. To set the bottom bunk up, you just put this piece of wood in the square area. You can lock it into place as well. Grab your mattresses. That's your bottom bunk setup. We've got some spare sheets for your bottom bunk as well. Now, when you want to use this space during the day, you've got a table. So if you look down the bottom, you'll see a black lever. A little bit of downward pressure on that lever will lift the table up. And then on this side, you've got a little lever that you can maneuver that table around. When you're ready to pack up and drive away, same again, a little bit of downward pressure. Line your table up. So under here we've got a bit of storage. This is where your cooker's kept in this bag. We've got a giant mat there to set up out the side of your camper. And then you've got this screen here which goes onto the front of your awning for a bit of protection from the weather and also a bit of privacy. There's also a bag with hammer and pegs just so you can secure down your awning as well if you get a bit of wind. Good idea to keep it secure at all time, even if it's not windy. Best to be safe than sorry, so always make sure you peg it down. This orange shore power lead, so this one here gets stored just on top there, so a little storage container there. Now it's fine to pack your lead away, so if you want to stay plugged in but lock the van up to either go away to the beach or when you're sleeping at night, there's a way you can do this by making sure on the bottom part of the hinge you've got no slack on that cord there, so you can lock it in. Just make sure it flows under there. All the water for while you're off grid is in this tank here. You've also got 10 litres in your hot water system, that one there. So altogether there's 80 litres of water in the tank. Now to refill, you'll just be able to see when your tank's starting to get low. Sometimes if you do drain the tank the whole way, you'll hear the pump is still running because it's trying to search for that pressure. That's why we've installed these two switches for the water. So you can see it says water off, which means if it's in the up position, you won't get water. Now if you do drain your tank and your pump is still searching for that pressure and it's humming, it's making that noise and you want to switch it off, just turn that in the off position. And then once you've filled your tank back up, you want to turn that back on. So there's an identical switch to this underneath the sink, and they both do the same thing. They're both for switching the water off. This switch here does the same function as the one at the back of the van, so this is just for turning the pump off. You shouldn't need to use this on your whole trip. It should stay in the on position the entire time, so leave that down. When you want to fill your tanks, just remove this one here, undo that. You've got a caravan filter, follow the flow sign, You've got your hose to connect. And then you've got the on-off valve for that one as well. So obviously connect your hose up to a tap at the caravan park or wherever you find water. Fill it up, make sure you use the caravan filter so it's filtered water going into the tank. So this grey water hose is found in that wet box in the back of the van. The sink water from the van just drops straight onto the grass from this little pipe here. If you want to run the sink water away from the van, you can screw that up into it and then just pop that into the drain available at caravan parks as well. Most times we just drop, because it's just sink water, we just drop it straight onto the grass. That's all good. Leveling blocks as well, the way they work, you can either drive up onto them or reverse onto them. So if you want to lift one side of the van up, the passenger side in this case, pop both your blocks there and just drive up 30 centimeters onto those blocks. They'll give you a little bit extra lift just to level out the ground. You can lift the back of the van, the front of the van, or either side of the van. This is the cooker all set up. So you've got the option to cook here, or you can use the table from in behind the seat as well. Set that up. Pretty straightforward, just works like a normal barbecue. So turn your gas on and then hit your ignite button. Simple as that. Gas off. For disconnecting, just unscrew your canister, and then these get a little bit tight sometimes. That's it. When you pack it up, the tray, and they all just grab the bag into this bag. So for this side table, you can rest the cooker up here, obviously, your jet boil. You don't want any more than about 10 kilos of weight on this one, so try not to overload it with too much stuff, and definitely don't try and use it as a seat. Alright, this is your jet boil for boiling water, making coffee. So fold your little gas lever out, twist on your canister, water in here, lock it in. You've got an igniter that sits there, so you just want gas on so you can hear it. That's it. So that'll take about a minute to boil. Once that's boiled, if you want to make some nice French press coffee, just put your plunger together, about 3 tablespoons of coffee in one of these, boiled water, rest that on there, let it sit for 3 minutes, and then plunge your coffee down. If you're cooking at night, there's a switch. It'll be hard to see at the moment, but you've got an LED light that sits under here as well. So when you're packing up, just make sure that's turned off. Pull out on your 2 levers, and then that'll just clip into place. The plug for that LED light, it can stay plugged in. It's that one there, so it's designed that you can close the door with that still plugged in. But if your LED light is not working, just check that switch to make sure that's fully plugged in. So the winder for your awning, just stuck there behind the seat. A little bit easier if you do it with the door closed. Hook through it, eyelet, open it out to where you can reach it. Hold your legs down. It's easy if you've got someone to help you. just maneuver the legs, but you can do it by yourself as well. Once you've got it to a distance that you're happy with, this arc arm that's stored behind the passenger seat, the little end clips on the middle, and that'll just stop the awning from flapping in the wind, and will also stop any rain from pooling and putting extra stress on the awning. To pack it away, you want to take your arc out first, and then it's just the reverse. So get your buddy to help, winding in. If it's not winding in, it's probably because you've left the extension in there, the arc extension. Same again, once it's at a height that you can reach, lock them in, lock your legs in. Now this part here, you want that to slide in first, and you'll hear that click in. Same again, lock it up here by tightening, lock your leg in like that. You want this part here to slide in first, and then it clips in. Nice and flush. So just check along here, make sure no bits are sticking out, that way you know you've put it away properly. And then that one just goes back behind the seat.